Chapter 20. Tracy tapped a hoof on the ground. It felt good to have her powers back. She enjoyed the dumbfounded look Nightlight was no doubt giving her at the moment. Too bad she couldn't see his face through his helmet. She tried to focus her magic in her horn, hoping her transformation would give it back. Nothing. It was still gone, with it her magic. No matter. She would still smash his face in regardless of having magic or not. Nightlight seemed to get back at composure. He snorted in derision. So, you have your powers back. He gave her a small laugh. You really think you'll do much better than your little... Tracy didn't give him time to finish. She punched him. She punched him with everything she had right in the face with all her anger, fear, frustration she'd been feeling for all the past few days. Nightlight screamed in pain and surprise as he flew out the door and onto the street. He didn't stop there, though. It broke a few carts on the way before crashing to a wall of a nearby warehouse. Tracy summoned her sword and prepared herself for battle. She gave a quick look at Lyra and Twilight. She would draw Nightlight as far away as possible. Tracy would let none of her friends be hostages. She gave them a curt nod and ran towards the former noble. Nightlight growled as she approached and summoned his own sword. His horn glowed. He sent a lightning bolt her way. Tracy dodged it with little difficulty, but it was all a distraction for Nightlight to teleport behind her. Tracy saw this coming, though, and ducked under his swipe at her head and gave him a headbutt in the face, dancing him. Taking advantage of this, Tracy came in the abdomen. He teleported away to avoid another attack. Tracy stood still, waiting for him to reappear. He reappeared predictably to her right, and she kicked him in the face through a nearby warehouse wall. You're too predictable. Tracy wanted to see what inside the warehouse. It appeared to be the fireworks ones she saw earlier. All that power, but you fight like a pregnant cow. I don't think you could beat somebody unless you're more powerful than them. Nightlight growled at her. He vanished and reappeared and vanished again. Now it was everywhere at once, trying to confuse her. Tracy kept her ground and watched this movement with careful eyes. Nightlight shot lightning at her. Every time he teleported, he would send another bolt at her. Now Tracy had to deal with lightning from every direction. She did her best to avoid them all, but there were too many of them. She was hit over and over again. She screamed as she was kicked in the face and smashed to a crate of fireworks. Nightlight appeared on a rafter above her and shot fireballs down at her. She avoided them, but the balls of flame lit the boxes of fireworks around her on fire, causing them to explode. Tracy winced in pain at the loud cacophony of noise. Many fireworks were going off around her. Explosions of a rainbow colors were all around her. Nightlight used this distraction to repeatedly pummel her with his sword, always teleporting out of sight before Tracy could respond. She blocked a few blows, but that was it. It wasn't long before a strong blow had her rising in pain in the ground. Tracy struggled to get around her. She could see the serious damage they did to the surrounding shells. Black scorch marks covered the shells and floor. There was a huge mess of used fireworks littering the ground, and a smoke cloud covering much of the building. She was glad no workers were here at the moment. She's like all the boxes of fireworks near her had already exploded, but she couldn't get the annoying ringing out of her ears. With a shaky hoof, she picked up her sword, ready for a fight in Nightlight's next attack. She jumped out of the way just in time as Nightlight teleported to her, him in the face before he could get away. Crashed to the ground, teleported away again. How long could he keep this teleporting crap up? Another swing from above. This time her opponent teleported before he hit the ground. Tracy sensed Nightlight's approach from the left and blocked the attack this time. An arrow of air blew from the air and through a wall. Tracy looked to her right, saw panting Lyra. Go! Lyra commanded. I'll cover you. Tracy nodded, jumped out of the hole Nightlight created with her sword at the ready. Twilight watched his statements. Lyra transformed to join battle against her father. In the end, she wasn't able to do much, and now just laid on the ground exhausted, the strain of her battle causing her to revert back to her normal self. She was so tired it was hard to move. Twilight prayed that Tracy and Lyra would be alright. She beat herself up over her uselessness. She wanted to be out there fighting with her friends. Twilight jumped as fireworks exploded. It must be one heck of a battle. She could hear the exchange of blows all the way from here. Twilight gave a weak smile. Tracy was fighting hard and no doubt not making things easy for her father. Why couldn't she be the same? She envied that power. So much for trying to make amends for the past. All that effort and struggle for what? Twilight steeled her resolved. This was no time for a pity party. Who cares that the odds were stacked against them? Give up and so would she. But what would she do? Twilight thought back to the morpher she still had in her possession. If only she could make it somehow. She pulled it out and gripped her hose hard. Twilight shook her head and struggled to her hose. She was determined to offer backup at the very least, even if she couldn't fight, and made her way to the warehouse. Twilight tried not to jump again at the sound of an explosion. Her father threw through the warehouse into the street. He landed on his hose, growling. Lyra shot more arrows than Nightlight and teleported away before they could hit him. They tore through the cement, leaving deep gashes in the material. Twilight hid behind a bush. She lay and wait for the next opportunity to strike. She winced as Trixie was struck in the chest. Sparks flew, but Trixie kicked Nightlight back in retaliation. She responded with a kick of his own that swiped Trixie out from the hose under her, leaving her prone in a moment. Nightlight hit a button on his morpher, ready his attack to finish the prone ranger. Twilight jumped at the opportunity and used her magic to create an orb of darkness over her father's face, blinding him. He flew his face forward to get out of the small spear. Trixie used the distraction to roll out of the way and get it back on her hose. Nightlight glared Twilight's direction for a moment before returning to Trixie. Trixie did her best to avoid the barrage of blows that seemed to increase in intensity while slowing her down. Twilight could see a slight decrease in speed. Nightlight sent another swipe at Trixie's head with sword both in hooves, and she did her best to block it with her own sword. She grunted in an effort. "Don't worry," Lyra said from inside the warehouse. "I got this!" She rained and fired at Nightlight's head. Nightlight teleported away, and the arrow flew over Trixie's head. Nightlight was now at Lyra's left flank, and prepared to swing right at Lyra's neck. Lyra used her blow to block his sword, and then to deflect several more attacks. Trixie cursed and made her way towards her friend. Nightlight teleported again and saw a bolt of electricity above them. Lyra avoided it, but Trixie winced in pain as it clipped her side. Lyra growled, "Getting really tired of this teleporting crap." Twilight tried to think of a way she could nullify her father's magic, but came up blank. So you heard about spells that could do that, but never actually read any spellbooks on the topic itself. Their only hope was to push him past the breaking point. It didn't look like it was even close to him yet. Trixie crouched over her sword and hoof, ready for Nightlight's next attack. He came in high from Trixie's right, but teleported before Trixie could retaliate with her own sword. He reappeared and cut at her underbelly. Nightlight flew to the ground as Lyra shot him with another arrow. Nightlight glared at the archer before he disappeared again. He teleported to Lyra's light and shot a fireball at her that she jumped to avoid, but was struck out of thin air when he teleported behind her and battered her with his sword. She squirmed to the ground in pain. He readied for another strike, but Twilight shot a magical bolt at her father. Unfortunately, it did little. He kicked Lyra into a nearby tree, smashing it too. Twilight cursed her uselessness. She was at best a distraction, an annoyance. Still, there was something she could do. She teleported to Lyra's side and her father paused before he could deliver another strike to the musician. Twilight teleported them both to safety, well out of range of her father's attacks. She could at least give Lyra time to recover. Trixie used the distraction to throw her sword at her opponent. Nightlight deflected with his own sword and gave out a defensive snort. She summoned her sword back to her hooves, and Nightlight and Trixie circled each other counterclockwise. "You okay?" Twilight asked in concern. "Fine," Lyra said in a pained breath. She shook her head to clear it and stood back up. "So I think I'm at my limit. Wait, I have it!" She turned to look at Twilight. "Do you have a spell that could hold him for a few seconds?" "Why?" Twilight asked. "I think I have enough for one more super attack," Lyra explained. "That might tip the fight in our favor." Twilight bit her lip in thought. She couldn't confine him with her telekinesis. He was too powerful. She thought what spell might work, but she didn't know that one. Thinking about it, though, it might be possible to find a book on it and learn to use it. It would take time with no time to practice, but you'll have to risk it. Learning spells were her specialty. "Leave it to me!" Twilight teleported to Camelot Library, and hoped it had a book on that, or a similar spell at the very least. Trixie was on her own again. She ducked under another sword slash at her throat, returned with a slash of her own that nicked one of Nightlight's legs. He grunted in pain and distanced himself from Trixie a little, waiting for her next move. She could hear he was breathing hard, not that hers was any softer. She pondered on the fact that he actually got hit that time instead of just teleporting away. "How much magic do you have left, I wonder?" Trixie thought. Think about it, he had been using magic less and less these last few exchanges. He must be conserving his magic, not being as wasteful and reckless as he was when they started their fight. Still, Trixie could not let her guard down and expose herself to an unexpected teleport or fireball. Companions stared each other down. In the corner of Trixie's eyes, she could see that Twilight was reading over a pile of books. This got her excited. Maybe Twilight was trying to learn a super death spell that could make a pony's head explode. No, wait. She couldn't do that to her father. To Nightlight, sure, but not to her dad. Maybe it was just a powerful beam spell that could leave him a smoldering husk on the floor. At this point, anything would be nice. Trixie wasn't sure how long she could keep this up. Trixie cried in pain as Nightlight's sword smashed her face. She crashed to a nearby state line, bending it in two and causing it to cause iron. Okay, maybe I should pay more attention to the fight. With a little effort, Trixie threw the snake and went back on her back, and he crashed to the ground. Trixie used her sword to block several more incoming blows. Now he hovered his sword in the air with his magic and attacked her from above. Did her best to fend him off. She rolled to the side when a lightning bolt was sent her way. Is that the best you got? Trixie mocked. You're getting far too predictable. Do you only know about one or two surge attacks? She could almost hear the former noble grind his teeth at the insult. Trixie faced a barrage of vicious attacks that moved faster than she expected. She screamed when she dodged a sword swipe, only to get kicked in the ribs and shot in her face. She crashed into another wall of a nearby warehouse and tried to get up, only for Nightlight to appear above her and smash the sword into Trixie's chest. Not so funny now, Nightlight said coldly. Are you? He kicked Trixie into some crates as he tried to get her bearings back. Nightlight loomed over her. He set his weapon down at her as she avoided in time by rolling away on the ground. She got into her host and dodged 3 more swipes coming her way. Out of the corner of her eye, Trixie saw that Lyra was trying to get her attention by waving her hose around. She figured Twilight was ready to cast a death ray spell or whatever it was. She pretended not to notice, but did stomps to show she understood. Trixie jumped away from Nightlight's attack, leading him away, so her back would be turned towards Lyra and Twilight. She used a feint, making it seem like her sword would come from the right, but interrupted the attack to kick Nightlight in the face. Nightlight dodged the kick. Trixie almost received a cut to her own hand in return. There was a flash, and Twilight and Lyra up behind distracted Nightlight. Twilight sent a grave from her horn at her father, but he teleported before it could hit him, and kicked Trixie into it when he reappeared. Trixie found herself covered in a gray goop that pinned her to the ground. She tried to push herself free, but that only pushed her back to the ground harder. Twilight stared in shock horror, and Lyra was presumably doing the same thing under her helmet. Nightlight's sword. What? You didn't think I didn't notice what you were doing back there? Thanks for taking care of the Lulu move from me. He pointed his sword at Lyra. Now all I have to do is take care of this one. Trixie struggled harder with her bonds, but pushing out harder only made it worse. The more she tried to free herself, the more the goop constricted around her. Even her monstrous strength did nothing to help her. She was helpless as Nightlight closed in on her friend. Twilight jumped in front of her father, defending Nightlight before Nightlight could do anything. Enough! You've won! Not until I finish them both. Nightlight growled. The shame he brought on our family is unforgivable. That's just like you, Twilight shot back. You only think of yourself. Nightlight went quiet. It took a few minutes before he found a voice. I'm just trying to protect you, Twilight. I'm trying to protect you. Our family in Equestria. It doesn't need incompetent whelps like Lunaverse guarding it. He turned away. If you want to protect Equestria, work with Trixie, Twilight argued. She's a good pony at heart, and you both want the same thing. Nightlight with her, impossible. All she needs chaos. She's reckless, only thinks of herself, and acts before thinking of the consequences of her actions. And think about what happened to you. Twilight growled in frustration. Just talk with her. You'll see that she isn't as bad as you think. Nightlight sighed. Twilight, I want you to trust me on this. You only have known her for a few days, but I've watched her for years. I've seen how irresponsible she is. She has squandered everything the princess gave her. She is arrogant, selfish, and suffers from serious delusions of grandeur and paranoia. She always drives ponies around her away from her in the end. The fact that the princess hasn't banished her yet is a miracle. I don't think I can understate what an incompetent bubbler she is. Trixie glared daggers at Nightlight. Sure, she wasn't perfect, and admittedly she had made a few mistakes over the years, but that was going too far. That doesn't matter. Twilight shook her head. I will not let you hurt Trixie or Lyra. Twilight screamed as Nightlight shot an airsy bolt at his daughter. She collapsed to the ground in a heap. Twilight! Trixie and Lyra screamed. Relax. Nightlight said, sounding tired. I only stunned her. Trixie sighed in relief, but the implications made her blood run cold. I don't want her to see what I'm going to do to you.